She stood in the corner of the command bunker holding what appeared to be nothing more than an oversized hummingbird constructed from titanium alloy and carbon fiber. Its palm-sized frame incorporating advanced quantum processors and electromagnetic pulse generation systems that represented 5 years of classified research into miniaturized defense technologies. While senior officers dismissed her presence with the casual indifference that characterized military bureaucracy's treatment of civilian contractors whose revolutionary innovations threatened to disrupt established defense procurement procedures and tactical doctrines. A palm-sized drone, a smirk from the brass, and an incoming missile screaming toward the base. What you're about to see is not science fiction. It's brilliant engineering and ruthless focus. Here's how a toy rewrote the rules of air defense. From which defense installation around the world are you following this revolutionary air defense story today? If you appreciate narratives that explore miniaturized defense technologies and the breakthrough innovations that challenge military orthodoxy, consider subscribing for more content that reveals the engineering marvels that transform modern warfare capabilities. The Strategic Air Defense Command Facility occupied 14,000 acres of carefully fortified territory within the Colorado Mountains. Its underground command centers and surface-to-air missile installations representing the most sophisticated aerial threat detection and neutralization systems protecting American airspace from increasingly advanced enemy projectile technologies. The installation served as the primary testing ground for next-generation air defense systems, combining radar detection arrays, automated missile interception platforms, and experimental countermeasure technologies that provided unprecedented protection against hypersonic threats and stealth projectiles that exceeded conventional defensive capabilities. Located within multiple security perimeters and electromagnetic isolation barriers, the facility had been constructed with hardened command systems and quantum-encrypted communication networks designed to maintain operational effectiveness even under sustained enemy bombardment while coordinating defensive responses across continental air defense networks. The base architecture incorporated decades of advancement in missile defense technology and strategic threat assessment, including underground command bunkers, automated response systems, and integrated threat analysis platforms that could process thousands of simultaneous aerial contacts without human intervention when necessary. Advanced processing centers analyzed ballistic data from satellite networks and ground-based sensor arrays simultaneously, creating three-dimensional threat assessment models that tracked incoming projectiles while distinguishing between legitimate defense scenarios and electronic warfare attempts designed to overwhelm American defensive systems with false targets and coordinated deception tactics. The computational requirements for effective air defense against modern threats demanded processing capabilities that exceeded previous military specifications and required constant technological advancement to maintain effectiveness against rapidly evolving enemy capabilities. Dr. Rebecca Martinez descended from the Civilian Contractor Liaison Office carrying prototype demonstration equipment and technical specifications that reflected 18 months of independent research and development work conducted through Defense Innovation Unit partnerships with private aerospace engineering firms. Her security clearance providing access to classified threat assessments and defensive requirements that few civilian personnel were authorized to review during their consulting relationships with military organizations. The screening process for her current advisory position had required extensive federal investigation that examined every aspect of her technical background and psychological profiles, though investigators had encountered proprietary research files that remained protected by intellectual property agreements and corporate security protocols. At 29 years old, she possessed specialized education from Massachusetts Institute of Technology's Advanced Robotics Laboratory and had completed postdoctoral research in miniaturized electromagnetic systems before establishing her own defense technology startup following graduation and securing venture capital funding that supported revolutionary approaches to automated defense systems. Her academic record included advanced degrees in electrical engineering, aerospace systems design, and quantum physics, though these conventional credentials concealed breakthrough discoveries in electromagnetic field manipulation and energy concentration techniques that enabled unprecedented miniaturization of defensive technologies. Her research background included collaboration with leading aerospace contractors and government laboratories where defense engineers and theoretical physicists developed technologies that pushed the boundaries of electromagnetic theory and practical energy manipulation capabilities. The projects she had led involved experimental electromagnetic pulse generation, advanced materials science applications, and miniaturized power systems that prepared her for technological challenges that conventional military contractors could not address effectively. Her advisors had included Nobel laureates and former defense research administrators whose experience encompassed decades of classified work on military applications of advanced physics and electromagnetic warfare technologies. The decision to accept consulting contracts with military organizations rather than pursuing purely commercial applications had been influenced by patriotic obligations and recognition that her breakthrough technologies could provide critical capabilities for defending American installations from increasingly sophisticated enemy threats. Her presence within military testing environments provided strategic consultation and technical evaluation, while her proprietary research remained protected by intellectual property agreements that prevented unauthorized disclosure of revolutionary electromagnetic manipulation techniques. General Thomas Mitchell supervised the afternoon air defense demonstration with authority gained through 31 years of military service and advanced education in strategic defense systems. His expertise encompassing complex threat assessment and defensive coordination that protected American airspace from increasingly sophisticated enemy missile technologies and stealth delivery systems. His background included command assignments throughout air defense divisions and coordination duties with aerospace contractors that developed next-generation interceptor missiles and automated defensive platforms. His Distinguished Service Medal and multiple innovation commendations reflected exceptional performance in both operational command and strategic defense development assignments that shaped American air defense capabilities. The general's military career had evolved from conventional air defense operations to strategic threat assessment, including classified assignments with intelligence agencies and research organizations that developed advanced detection systems and interceptor technologies for defending against hypersonic threats that exceeded traditional missile defense boundaries. His transition from Tactical Air Defense Command to strategic systems development had been driven by recognition that modern aerial warfare required technological sophistication and electromagnetic coordination that exceeded traditional military capabilities and demanded interdisciplinary expertise from both military personnel and civilian researchers. Around the classified briefing table sat representatives from Missile Defense Agency, Air Force Materiel Command, Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, and various aerospace contractors, each contributing specialized expertise to air defense development and threat assessment procedures that maintained American defensive superiority against emerging enemy missile capabilities and delivery systems. The assembled group represented decades of collective experience in missile defense operations, electromagnetic warfare analysis, and technological development that maintained American air superiority against increasingly sophisticated enemy aerospace technologies. Colonel Sandra Lopez, the Air Defense Systems Coordinator responsible for threat evaluation and interceptor deployment protocols, possessed 12 years of experience in advanced missile defense systems and held security clearances that provided access to the most sensitive intelligence regarding enemy missile capabilities and delivery methodologies that threatened American installations. Her technical background included specialized training in radar systems, electromagnetic countermeasures, and threat analysis procedures that enabled prediction of enemy attack patterns and coordination of appropriate defensive responses. Colonel Lopez's expertise bridged the gap between theoretical missile defense research and practical operational requirements, translating advanced electromagnetic research into functional defensive systems that protected American installations while maintaining readiness for aerial threats that might exceed current technological capabilities. Her role required constant evaluation of intelligence reports, technical assessments, and enemy capability estimates to ensure adequate defensive preparations for evolving missile technologies and delivery systems. The development team under Lopez's coordination represented carefully selected specialists recruited from leading aerospace contractors and military research institutions, each bringing unique technical knowledge to the complex challenge of defending against increasingly sophisticated enemy missile systems, while maintaining technological advantages that preserved American defensive superiority. Their work remained largely classified, but their defensive decisions directly influenced protection capabilities and response procedures that secured millions of American citizens from aerial attacks. Major David Park, the electromagnetic warfare officer responsible for countermeasure deployment and electronic attack coordination, possessed extensive experience in advanced electronic warfare operations and electromagnetic spectrum management that enabled identification and neutralization of enemy electronic systems through sophisticated jamming networks and directed energy procedures. His understanding of electromagnetic warfare encompassed both conventional radar jamming systems and experimental technologies that pushed the boundaries of current scientific understanding and provided capabilities that exceeded standard military equipment. The electronic warfare commander's background included specialized training in electromagnetic theory, directed energy applications, and advanced jamming methodologies that enabled disruption of enemy guidance systems and communication networks that enemy forces might employ to coordinate sophisticated attacks against American defensive installations. His responsibility for electromagnetic warfare required constant technological advancement and strategic thinking that anticipated enemy electronic countermeasures while maintaining jamming effectiveness for emerging threats. General, morning intelligence briefings indicate possible enemy development of advanced hypersonic delivery systems with electromagnetic countermeasure capabilities that exceed our current defensive assessment models, Colonel Lopez reported, her voice carrying analytical precision that characterized professional threat evaluation. Defense Intelligence Agency sources suggest enemy development of stealth delivery systems with velocity and maneuverability characteristics that could challenge our existing interceptor protocols, though specific technical details remain classified above our briefing level. Her assessment reflected constant evolution of aerial threats that characterized contemporary strategic defense, where enemy forces continuously developed new delivery technologies and tactics designed to defeat American defensive systems and create vulnerabilities that could be exploited during actual conflict situations. The intelligence indicated technological advancement that required enhanced defensive measures and updated interceptor protocols to maintain protection effectiveness. The current threat assessment represented months of intelligence analysis that had identified patterns suggesting coordinated enemy research into advanced hypersonic systems and electromagnetic countermeasures designed to defeat American missile defense installations. Technical intelligence sources had reported development activities and testing programs that indicated preparation for delivery capabilities that exceeded current American defensive planning assumptions. Colonel, we've upgraded our radar sensitivity and implemented enhanced tracking algorithms designed to detect advanced hypersonic threats and countermeasure technologies that enemy forces might deploy, Major Park explained, his report reflecting systematic approach to electromagnetic adaptation that balanced defensive capabilities with technological limitations of current radar systems and interceptor platforms. However, some theoretical enemy capabilities could exceed our current detection and interception capabilities, requiring technological advancement and strategic planning that might take years to implement effectively. His analysis highlighted fundamental challenges facing modern air defense, where technological advancement created constant pressure to upgrade defensive systems, while enemy forces simultaneously developed countermeasures that challenged existing interceptor advantages. The balance between current capabilities and emerging threats required continuous investment and strategic planning that anticipated technological developments before they materialized into actual threats. The defensive measures implemented by Park's electromagnetic team represented state-of-the-art countermeasure technology that incorporated lessons learned from decades of electronic warfare development and aerial combat experience. Advanced jamming systems, computerized threat analysis, and automated response platforms provided capabilities that enhanced interception accuracy while maintaining operational efficiency for legitimate defensive operations, though determined enemies continued developing delivery technologies that challenged American defensive capabilities. Major Park, What specific capabilities do our current systems provide for defending against the advanced hypersonic threats described in current intelligence assessments? General Mitchell inquired, his question reflecting command responsibility for understanding defensive limitations and ensuring adequate protection for American installations and population centers. The question addressed core challenges facing defense planners in contemporary warfare, where technological advancement created threats that might exceed current defensive capabilities and required strategic decisions about resource allocation and system development priorities. The assessment of current capabilities versus emerging threats was critical for determining defensive adequacy and planning requirements. Martinez quietly moved through the demonstration areas conducting routine equipment checks, her movements deliberately systematic and professional to avoid attracting attention, while she processed the psychological impact of hearing air defense discussions that connected her current consulting assignment with classified electromagnetic research programs that had developed countermeasure technologies exceeding current military capabilities. Her specialized training enabled recognition of technical discussions and threat assessments that conventional personnel might interpret incorrectly or fail to understand entirely. Her background in experimental electromagnetic research provided unique perspective on defensive limitations and threat capabilities that informed her understanding of vulnerability assessments and strategic planning. Though her proprietary research history remained protected by intellectual property agreements that prevented disclosure to conventional personnel who viewed her as dedicated civilian contractor with unusual electromagnetic interests and attention to technical detail. The demonstration activities that Martinez conducted served multiple purposes beyond routine equipment testing, allowing her to evaluate defensive systems and identify potential capability gaps through pattern recognition techniques learned during advanced electromagnetic research programs. Her specialized knowledge enabled recognition of systemic vulnerabilities that conventional testing procedures might overlook, providing insights that could enhance overall defensive effectiveness. The command facility represented months of construction and engineering design to provide optimal threat monitoring and defensive coordination while protecting personnel from electromagnetic effects and enemy targeting attempts. Advanced shielding, redundant communication systems, and hardened defensive equipment created operational advantages that maintained defensive effectiveness even under attack conditions. The engineering specifications that guided facility construction incorporated lessons learned from previous conflicts and theoretical advances in air defense architecture developed by military engineers and electromagnetic warfare specialists. Each system component had been carefully designed to provide monitoring capabilities and operational flexibility that eliminated defensive gaps while maintaining efficiency for routine operations and emergency response. Dr. Martinez continue standard demonstration procedures, but remain alert for any unusual system behavior or technical anomalies that might indicate electronic warfare attempts or equipment malfunctions. Major Park instructed, her guidance reflecting standard security protocols while acknowledging technical background that Martinez brought to system evaluation and testing activities. His instructions contained subtle recognition of Martinez's technical expertise and analytical capabilities that exceeded standard civilian contractor training, though the acknowledgement remained coded in language that preserved operational security regarding her proprietary background and specialized knowledge that other personnel were not authorized to access. The technical briefing continued for 47 minutes, with various specialists contributing threat assessments and defensive recommendations based on current intelligence and technological analysis. The assembled group represented finest military minds available for air defense and electromagnetic planning, though their conventional backgrounds limited understanding of experimental technologies and electromagnetic capabilities that existed within proprietary research programs. The complexity of advanced air defense in modern warfare required synthesis of intelligence from multiple sources, including satellite surveillance, electromagnetic intelligence, technical analysis, and theoretical modeling that enabled prediction of enemy capabilities before they materialized into actual threats. The analytical precision required for effective defensive planning exceeded capabilities of individual specialists and demanded collaborative effort from experts with diverse technical backgrounds and security clearances. Martinez positioned herself near the electromagnetic monitoring equipment while maintaining routine demonstration duties that provided cover for observing system operations and defensive discussions that might indicate capability gaps or technological limitations. Her experimental electromagnetic background enabled recognition of system capabilities and operational parameters that conventional personnel might interpret incorrectly or fail to evaluate properly. The monitoring activities that Martinez conducted automatically incorporated advanced analytical techniques learned during proprietary electromagnetic research programs that emphasize technological innovation and strategic thinking beyond conventional military planning. Her ability to evaluate defensive systems enabled identification of potential improvements and vulnerabilities that purely technical thinking might miss. The automated threat detection announcement became audible through the facility communication system approximately 93 minutes into her demonstration shift, its specific targeting information and trajectory references triggering recognition that connected her current assignment with classified electromagnetic research programs that had developed countermeasure technologies exceeding current operational capabilities. The announcement characteristics indicated genuine threat detection rather than routine training exercises, suggesting crisis situation that demanded immediate response and specialized expertise. Her recognition of the incoming missile designation reflected electromagnetic research participation and countermeasure development that connected her to programs that had developed defensive technologies exceeding current military specifications. Research where her breakthrough discoveries had been attributed to theoretical advancement rather than practical applications that enabled revolutionary approaches to miniaturized defense systems, while her colleagues pursued conventional aerospace engineering careers. The threat warning's technical characteristics indicated genuine missile approach rather than system malfunction or training scenarios. The threat alert's technical parameters and trajectory data indicated legitimate incoming projectile rather than electronic warfare deception or testing scenarios, though the security implications of deploying experimental electromagnetic technology created complexity that demanded careful evaluation and appropriate response procedures. The authenticity of the missile detection required verification, while security protocols demanded protection of proprietary electromagnetic research and technological capabilities. Instead of immediately requesting permission to deploy her experimental system, Martinez carefully evaluated the threat announcement for technical details and trajectory parameters that would verify its legitimacy while protecting proprietary electromagnetic information from potential intelligence gathering. Her experimental electromagnetic training included extensive instruction in threat assessment and defensive procedures designed to prevent enemy exploitation of American defensive capabilities. The evaluation process required balancing immediate defensive response with security protocols that protected proprietary electromagnetic research and technological development from enemy intelligence gathering. Her specialized background provided knowledge necessary for proper threat assessment while maintaining operational security that protected ongoing electromagnetic programs and defensive capabilities. The trajectory parameters embedded within the threat warning matched classified protocols that Martinez recognized from her electromagnetic research, indicating legitimate missile detection using advanced radar systems rather than conventional training or system malfunctions attempting to create false emergencies. The proper use of targeting coordinates suggested technological advancement that exceeded current defensive planning and indicated threat capabilities that posed serious implications to American installations. Lieutenant Sarah Chun, the radar monitoring specialist responsible for tracking threat detection systems and coordinating defensive responses, noticed unusual missile characteristics through automated monitoring systems designed to identify aerial anomalies and coordinate appropriate defensive procedures. General, we're detecting incoming projectile with velocity and trajectory characteristics that don't match any known missile profiles. The electromagnetic signature appears to utilize stealth technology and defensive countermeasures that exceed current intelligence assessments of enemy capabilities. Her report reflected facility defensive capabilities that monitored multiple threat vectors and identified potential aerial anomalies through automated analysis of missile characteristics and targeting procedures. The detection systems represented advanced technology designed to provide early warning of aerial attacks and coordinate defensive responses that protected American installations from enemy missile strikes. The threat intelligence gathered by Chin's equipment provided critical information about missile capabilities and delivery methodologies that informed defensive planning and response coordination procedures. The technical analysis of detected trajectory patterns enabled assessment of enemy technological advancement while maintaining defensive protocols that protected American installations from sophisticated attacks. Lieutenant Chun, can your systems identify the specific missile type and confirm the trajectory parameters that enable accurate interception calculations? General Mitchell inquired, his question reflecting command responsibility for understanding threat capabilities while coordinating appropriate defensive responses that protected personnel and critical facilities. The general's response demonstrated systematic approach to threat assessment that characterized effective military leadership, where aerial anomalies required immediate evaluation and appropriate defensive action while maintaining intelligence gathering that informed strategic planning for future threats. The priority placed on understanding missile capabilities reflected recognition that technological advancement required adaptive defensive strategies. Martinez approached the threat assessment station with measured steps that maintained her cover as routine civilian contractor while providing critical intelligence about the missile characteristics and defensive requirements. Her experimental electromagnetic training enabled accurate evaluation of threat technology and defensive requirements that conventional personnel might misinterpret or fail to understand entirely. Her movement toward the assessment station appeared routine to casual observers, but represented calculated decision-making that balanced security requirements with emergency response obligations. The specialized knowledge that informed her evaluation could provide critical insights for appropriate defensive responses and threat assessment. Sir, I believe my experimental electromagnetic pulse system could neutralize this incoming threat, Martinez announced, her voice maintaining professional bearing while conveying information that reflected specialized training and electromagnetic research experience. The missile's electromagnetic signature suggests vulnerability to concentrated electromagnetic field disruption, but the countermeasure deployment requires authorization for experimental technology usage. Her assessment provided context for the threat situation that enabled appropriate defensive responses and strategic evaluation of available countermeasure capabilities. The distinction between experimental research and operational deployment was critical for determining authorization requirements and understanding system capabilities that could protect American installations. General Mitchell studied Martinez with renewed interest, his command experience enabling recognition that her assessment demonstrated electromagnetic knowledge that exceeded standard civilian contractor training and suggested specialized background in classified research and experimental defensive development. Dr. Martinez, your knowledge of electromagnetic countermeasures is remarkably detailed for civilian consulting work. Can you elaborate on the specific defensive characteristics that suggest your system could neutralize this threat? His question reflected institutional curiosity about Martinez's technical expertise and sources of specialized knowledge that enabled accurate threat assessment under emergency conditions. The precision of her analysis suggested electromagnetic backgrounds that exceeded her official consulting designation and indicated possible proprietary research assignments or experimental program participation. Sir, my miniaturized electromagnetic pulse system utilizes concentrated field generation, real-time trajectory tracking, and automated targeting algorithms that combine multiple electromagnetic theories and defensive applications, Martinez explained, her response demonstrating technical knowledge that reflected specialized training in experimental electromagnetic development and advanced countermeasure systems. The system deployment of this technology requires field testing authorization, but the electromagnetic characteristics suggest 93% probability of successful missile neutralization. Her explanation provided specific technical details that supported her defensive assessment while demonstrating knowledge that exceeded routine civilian training and suggested specialized education or electromagnetic research experience. The technical sophistication of her analysis indicated familiarity with experimental defensive technology and electromagnetic methodologies that characterized proprietary development programs rather than standard aerospace consulting. The detailed nature of Martinez's threat assessment impressed assembled officers, who recognized that her analytical capabilities exceeded expectations for her current assignment and suggested potential for enhanced responsibilities within defensive planning and electromagnetic assessment activities. Her demonstrated expertise represented valuable assets that could enhance defensive effectiveness and threat evaluation. Dr. Martinez, your analysis suggests significant experience with experimental electromagnetic technology and advanced defensive systems, General Mitchell observed, his comment reflecting recognition that Martinez's capabilities extended beyond standard consulting qualifications and indicated specialized training or electromagnetic research background. Do you have authorization to deploy this experimental countermeasure system? The question addressed immediate tactical requirements about defensive authorization while acknowledging that Martinez's demonstrated capabilities suggested qualifications that exceeded her current assignment and indicated potential for immediate contribution to critical defensive operations and threat neutralization activities. Sir, my system operates under Defense Innovation Unit protocols for emergency deployment during genuine threat scenarios. Martinez replied carefully, providing information that explained her authorization while maintaining operational security. Regarding proprietary research and electromagnetic development that other personnel were not authorized to access. My background includes proprietary research in advanced electromagnetic systems, miniaturized defensive technology, and experimental countermeasure deployment. Her response provided context for her defensive capabilities while maintaining appropriate operational security regarding proprietary electromagnetic research programs and experimental defensive technologies that informed her threat assessment and technical analysis methodology. The acknowledgement of Defense Innovation Unit protocols explained her authorization while preserving security regarding specific research programs and electromagnetic developments. The revelation of Martinez's experimental electromagnetic research background provided explanation for her exceptional threat assessment capabilities while raising questions about the true nature of her toy drone that had been dismissed by conventional personnel as curiosity rather than revolutionary defensive technology. Her presence within military demonstrations suggested breakthrough developments that had resulted in her electromagnetic expertise being underestimated. General Mitchell made immediate command decision that reflected institutional recognition of critical threat situation and urgent need to deploy available countermeasure capabilities requiring her specific expertise. Dr. Martinez, you are authorized to deploy your experimental electromagnetic system for immediate threat neutralization. All personnel provide full support for countermeasure deployment. The authorization represented acknowledgement that Martinez's specialized capabilities were critical for properly handling the current threat situation and ensuring appropriate defensive responses that protected American installations while testing experimental technology under actual combat conditions. Her demonstrated competence in electromagnetic assessment aligned perfectly with defensive requirements that demanded sophisticated analytical capabilities and experimental countermeasure knowledge. The immediate nature of the authorization reflected military efficiency in utilizing available expertise when emergency situations demanded specialized knowledge and electromagnetic understanding. General Mitchell's decision demonstrated leadership flexibility that enabled rapid adaptation to changing requirements and unexpected capabilities within existing contractor resources. Martinez activated her palm-sized drone with advanced control systems that reflected genuine recognition of her specialized background and electromagnetic engineering capabilities. Drone deployment initiated, electromagnetic pulse systems online, trajectory lock achieved on incoming target, she announced, her voice maintaining professional calm while coordinating technology that represented years of proprietary research and development. The deployment represented culmination of electromagnetic research applied to practical defensive scenarios under actual threat conditions. The recognition of Martinez's experimental background promised successful demonstration of revolutionary technology that could transform air defense capabilities and countermeasure effectiveness. The professional respect implicit in the authorization reflected fundamental shift in how Martinez would be viewed within the military organization during defensive operations. Her transition from dismissed civilian contractor to critical defensive asset demonstrated potential for revolutionary technology to emerge from unexpected sources when crisis situations demanded specialized capabilities. The electromagnetic pulse deployment that Martinez coordinated resulted in successful missile neutralization and provided critical intelligence about electromagnetic countermeasure capabilities and technological advancement that enhanced security for future defensive operations. Her threat analysis had enabled proper countermeasure deployment and missile interception that prevented potential strategic disaster while demonstrating operational effectiveness of proprietary electromagnetic research programs. Her work included analyzing threat characteristics, coordinating electromagnetic responses, and providing technical assessment that enabled successful defensive operations under extremely complex conditions. Each contribution demonstrated value of experimental electromagnetic research applied to practical defensive situations that affected installation security and personnel protection. The countermeasure deployment protocols that Martinez had developed became standard reference for advanced air defense, illustrating importance of maintaining institutional expertise in experimental electromagnetic technology and value of personnel with specialized defensive backgrounds. Martinez's story influenced procurement policies that emphasized identifying and maintaining access to electromagnetic expertise throughout military organizations. 6 months after the missile interception, Dr. Martinez received contract expansion and designation as Senior Electromagnetic Consultant for Experimental Defensive Systems covering multiple air defense installations. Her advancement reflected institutional recognition that exceptional analytical capabilities and electromagnetic research experience required appropriate recognition and opportunities for expanded responsibility. Her progression from dismissed contractor to specialized defensive operations demonstrated military's capacity for recognizing and developing specialized talent when circumstances revealed capabilities and defensive requirements demanded specific expertise. The transformation also reflected institutional learning about importance of maintaining personnel with diverse electromagnetic research backgrounds. Today, Dr. Martinez leads the Advanced Electromagnetic Defense Division, overseeing experimental countermeasure development and electromagnetic coordination that supports air defense installations throughout North America. Her team of electromagnetic specialists continues to advance defensive capabilities and analytical methodologies that protect American installations from increasingly sophisticated aerial threats and delivery challenges. Her leadership position represents culmination of career that experienced initial dismissal and evolved into directing critical defensive operations that support the most sensitive technological protection missions. The trajectory demonstrated how specialized electromagnetic research talent and experimental knowledge could transform both individual careers and institutional capabilities for advanced air defense. The organization she directs has become model for integrating experimental electromagnetic expertise with operational defensive requirements, attracting top talent from research institutions and aerospace contractors. Her success has inspired similar programs throughout Air Force Materiel Command that seek to identify and utilize personnel with combined electromagnetic research and operational expertise. The contractor they had assumed was just demonstrating Curiosity Gadgets had become the analytical backbone for advanced electromagnetic defense operations, proving that extraordinary defensive capabilities often exist within personnel whose experimental backgrounds remain hidden by conventional assumptions. Sometimes the most critical technologies come from individuals whose electromagnetic knowledge has been channeled into protective service for their country, and institutional effectiveness often depends on recognizing defensive talent regardless of its apparent presentation or initial assessment. Her story continues to inspire electromagnetic engineers and defensive personnel who understand that experimental research creates unique capabilities for protecting American installations, demonstrating that specialized talent will find purpose when given appropriate opportunities to contribute to meaningful defensive missions and electromagnetic security operations.